Typhoon is the Intamin water coaster at Land of Legends theme park in Turkey. This is one of the largest rides of its kind, and because of how it's operated, it offers a far more pleasant experience than the other water coasters across the globe. I will explain why in this review. The Land of Legends resort opened in 2016. Initially, there was no theme park, just a water park. However, they did add a water coaster in Typhoon in their inaugural season. This would be similar to the other three Intamin water coasters out there. It too would feature a massive elevator lift that looks great on the park's skyline. This is followed by a large, albeit shallow drop, and a coaster section highlighted by a helix. Then the attraction culminates in a soaking final splash that makes it a spectacle for onlookers. The ride features a pedestrian white paint scheme. The same goes for the ride station and show building, minus a showy mural of a wave on one side. This is one of those rides where the elements do the talking. When Land of Legends opened its theme park in 2018, Typhoon was made part of the dry park. However, it is still operated much like a water park attraction. What do I mean by that? For one, you can openly wear bathing suits in this ride. Compare that to many water rides out there that ban swimwear. Further, guys specifically can ride shirtless. This practice is rarely allowed on any water ride. Two, and more importantly, you do not need to wear shoes. On a hot day, I am happy to get drenched in most areas. But few things are worse at a theme park than having drenched feet after riding a water ride. It is uncomfortable sloshing about the park, and I know I'll probably end up with blisters. Here, you can store your shoes off to the side and ride barefoot. This helped mightily in my enjoyment of the attraction, especially since you get absolutely drenched. As with Hypercoaster, this ride's entrance is in a somewhat weird location. It is located in the back corner of a gift shop. I visited this park on a hot summer weekend, yet this ride had a manageable wait. It was never more than 10 to 15 minutes maximum. The main reason for this is that a majority of guests were over in the water park. I have not heard of the amusement side getting overly slammed, but this ride is included in the paid fast track skip the line pass if needed. The park has several boats on the course at once. Each boat seats a max of 10 riders, as they are comprised of 5 rows of 2. Seating is on a first-come basis. Those with fast track are admitted first, so they typically will select the front. However, your row does not matter much with this ride. The forces are similar all across the boat, and every row gets soaked. Riders are secured by overhead lap bars. The same ones can be found on their other water coasters. These are different than Intamin's other thrill coasters though, as they have less padding in them, but they are comfortable given the ride dynamics at play, i.e. the lack of major airtime. Once dispatched, you float forwards through a dark ride sequence. This was a nice surprise, as the other Intamin water coasters are entirely outdoors. The indoor part may be brief, but it's grand due to the high ceilings and big set pieces. You have a dark room illuminated by stars. Then you pass some large ships, buildings, and rocks as the music intensifies. As you leave the room, you have some bright flashes of lightning signifying an approaching storm. Before you head outdoors though, you pass the maintenance bay, which isn't hidden nor themed in the slightest. I really wish they had covered this up because it sticks out like a sore thumb compared to the rest of the indoor portion that is reasonably well themed. Once outside, you immediately slide into the elevator lift. You pause briefly, and they are hoisted atop the 141-foot, or 43-meter tall tower. This makes it the shortest of Intamin's 4 water coasters, but it still towers over most other water coasters, including any of the ones built by Mock Rides. The elevator also has a surprise thrill element. The boats tilt sideways halfway up. It is an unnerving maneuver. This is because the elevator has 2 platforms that oppose each other. While one is at the top, the other is at the bottom. Since they share the same shaft, they have to bank sideways at the midpoint to pass each other. The ascent offers some fantastic views of the park. Once at the top, you pause briefly and roll forwards over the drop, although I prefer to call it a ramp. It has a max angle of descent of just 45 degrees. This is very shallow for a modern thrill coaster, especially one this large, so forget about any airtime. It still is fun though due to the sheer size and the subsequent accumulation of speed. If you've ridden one of those jumbo Hopkins shoot the chutes such as Tidal Force at Hershey Park, the drop feels pretty similar to one of those. Typhoon's drop is followed by a straightaway. However, there is no splash there. On the other three Intamin water coasters, this part has a splash. This takes away some speed there, and it begins the process of getting riders soaked, especially since water can shoot through the holes in the floor of the boat. Typhoon has a climb upwards. This offers some weightlessness over the top. This leads directly into a 540-degree downwards helix. By the end of it, you experience some solid Gs. You then coast over a bunny hill. No force here though. Then, you hit the final splash. This will completely soak you. The boat tends to flood with water, particularly if it is filled with heavy adults, so I very much appreciated the ability to ride barefoot. You then float forwards and enter the station, ending your 1,722 foot or 525 meter long experience. In terms of pacing, this ride does a solid job for a water coaster. Once the coaster portion starts, you don't slow down, which I do appreciate. Then in terms of smoothness, this ride is fairly smooth. That is notable because some of these water coasters, most notably the ones by Mock Rides, can rattle on the turns. That is not the case with Typhoon, which is not too surprising given how the other Intamin water coasters ride. What would I rate Typhoon? I would give this coaster a 6 out of 10. This is a solid water coaster. The dark ride section at the start is well done. Then the coaster portion is enjoyable. It is not super forceful, but the big drop provides plenty of speed, and the helix at least has some power to it. And the splash is ultra refreshing on a hot day. Then, as I noted earlier, the ability to wear your bathing suit and go shoeless definitely helped with my enjoyment. I did not have to worry about the impending dread of my shoes getting drenched. As far as water coasters go, this was towards the middle of the pack. I appreciate the scale, but I wish it had a bit more oomph, particularly on the drop. Still, it does more than enough to beat a lot of the conventional log flumes and rapids rides out there. Those are my thoughts on Typhoon at Land of Legends. What are your thoughts on this water coaster? How do you think it compares to the other ones out there? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you consider subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.